Going. So sorry if I look formal. I'm not formal at all. I had to be at Jummah today and give khutbah, so that's why I'm just like this. How you guys doing? Assalamu alaikum. Nice to meet you. I've been here before. Anybody attended one of my talks before? Okay, good, alhamdulillah. We'll start. Bismillah, alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Nashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Nashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Assalamu alaikum. How you guys doing? It was a pleasure being with you guys tonight. I usually am at a youth group actually in Brooklyn. Alhamdulillah, it's very nice to know that there's you guys meet, mashallah, every Friday and stuff. So I'm pretty sure you guys are not aware of the story. I'll begin with a story that I unfortunately 2 weeks ago had to deal with. I'm assuming a lot of you guys went to Muslim Day, Six Flags?
Yes.
Okay, mashallah, very nice. Had a good time?
Yes.
Very nice, alhamdulillah. So I'm not sure who of you heard about the car accident that happened after Six Flags. Did anybody hear about the car accident? Okay, a couple of people, mashallah, very nice. So I'll start with the story. Essentially, alhamdulillah, I usually go every year. I didn't go this year. I was a little bit busy with family and stuff like that. Actually, I'm moving, just so you know. If you guys do ask, I'm in the process of relocating. And so it was like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and a brother texted me. I don't really know the brother very well. He came to one or two halakas, I've seen his face, and he texted me about the news article of the car accident. For those that you don't know, there was a huge car accident that took place as a family was coming home from Six Flags. They were actually at Six Flags Muslim Day. They were driving back. They were on the turnpike driving up. The girls were sleeping. It's a mom and three girls. The girls are 17, 15, and 12. So they're in a minivan, mom and older sister are in the front, two younger sisters in the middle seats, the back seats are empty. They switch lanes, and from behind them, truck is probably going 90, 100 miles an hour, goes slamming right into them. The truck is absolutely destroyed. The trailer, the tractor trailer, went into the car. There was no back. It smashed all the way halfway through, like a can would smash, all the way to the middle seats. Brother texted me the article, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I opened the article, just so you guys know, the family's from Brooklyn. Turned out, as soon as I opened the article and I read it, I recognized the names. Now, it doesn't really hit sometimes. You can never imagine seeing in a newspaper names of people right? It doesn't always happen, right? Sometimes we read the news, or you see Twitter, or you see a Facebook post, and you see names, and you're like, may Allah forgive them, Allah have mercy on them. I don't know who they are. It is like the freakiest thing to see people that you know's names in an article. And then, on top of it, to be absolutely shocked because nobody else said anything about it. I lived in Brooklyn my whole life. And alhamdulillah, I'm a youth director at the Mass Youth Center. You guys know the Youth Center in Brooklyn. And we're a big community. Usually, somebody would have told us, right? Somebody would have heard. But 12 hours later, the accident happened at 11:30 at night, coming home from Six Flags Friday night. 12 o'clock in the afternoon, Saturday, I find out. Read this article. And I read the name of, she actually went to school with my mom. My mom is very good friends with her. They went to elementary school together. They'd known each other for years and decades. I read the article and it's just like, man, my phone dropped out of my hands. I saw, not only was it an accident, I saw 15-year-old Noor Qudsi passed away. I'm like, what in the world? I just saw this girl yesterday. I know who she is. So I pick up the phone, and probably the worst thing you could possibly do is if there's a death in the family, don't call your mom. Don't call your mom first. So I called my mom. I told her, Mom, did you hear that, Khatu Isam and her daughters were in an accident and Noor passed away? And she just started screaming. She dropped the phone. I heard the phone go, shh. dropped the phone, and she just started screaming. My sister picks up, was like, what happened? I said, did anybody hear that there was an accident and somebody passed away? They said, no, nobody heard. So I was the first person to hear in the entire community that someone from our community passed away. And someone that I know, someone that is very close to the family, my family, we've known them for many years. Got on the car, drove right to the hospital. I can't describe to you. I guess I'm trying to describe to you. I know maybe it's not, it's not the easiest thing to do, but the amount of weight that you feel on you when you realize, or you're around people that you love or people that you know, and you see them in complete devastation. Just so you guys, a little insight, the three sisters have been volunteers at the youth center for like years. Very, very good volunteers. Every event, every program, always helping out, always there. Always, at every event, halaqah, they're always there. Their dad has cancer. He's been battling brain cancer for about 2 years. He just had surgery the day before they went to Six Flags. His bones, the cancer is in his bones, and he had surgery on one of his legs to repair the bone because it was deteriorating. So they went to Six Flags just to have fun and enjoy themselves, just like probably you guys did, many days I've gone. And none of them ever expected that they would go home that day and they wouldn't see their sister, who's 15, a sophomore in high school. None of them ever imagined the idea that we would be driving home and our sister wouldn't exist anymore. So you can imagine going. It's my first time ever. I've been to many janazas, I've helped many people with burials and stuff, but I've never ever dealt with the family that lost somebody. It's my first time ever. Like being there from A to Z. So from the moment I stepped in the hospital, you feel like that pressure, like everybody's in shock and awe. Nobody understands how this could have happened. How can a girl that just yesterday she was there, she's not there anymore. Like I know her name, but she's not living anymore. Like I can't go see her anymore. We need to go pick up her body from the coroner's office, from the ME's office. Like she's not there anymore. She died on the scene. She didn't even get to the hospital. So it was complete, and I'm sharing the story with you because I think it definitely taught me a lot. It wakes you up. And I think sometimes we need to be reminded of waking up, especially when probably, 10,000, 20,000 Muslims were having fun that day, and one Muslim didn't get to go home. She didn't even get halfway home. She went reverse down the turnpike to exit 8 to her burial. It didn't register. And so one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys are just some things that really they kind of hit home, and I think we should be really aware of them. Number one, really truly, I say this with all honesty. I know we're probably all of us were expecting maybe us take SATs tomorrow. May Allah help you guys. SATs are like torture of life. Only worse torture is like MCATs and GREs, and Orgo. Don't take Orgo when you guys grow up. You're probably planning out maybe your college career, probably planning out what job you're going to get, when you're going to get married, what hall you're going to have it in, who you're going to invite, what car you're going to buy, where you might want to live, what kind of house you might want. Everybody maps things out, right? We're always mapping things out, right? Who am I going to draft in my fantasy league? Who am I going to drop this week? Who am I picking up on waivers? What time I'm going to watch the game on Sunday? We're always mapping things out. What boys I'm going to order? What am I going to order? What kind of pizza? What kind of wings? We're always mapping things out for life and expecting life to just go on. And then one day life decides to tell you, hey, it's over now. Like game, Control, Alt, Delete, shut off, turn off, system malfunction. It won't turn on anymore, the phone. Right? Just in life is just going to come to you and tell you, hey, it's time to end. And it's really the first lesson, and it's the first thing that I noticed with the family. The first lesson is a lesson of regret. We always hear, I'm sure you guys have heard it many times, you'll be, once you're in your grave, you'll be regretful, do hasanat, all that stuff. I think that's all true, right? Like, the Prophet ﷺ told us that the person that's dead, they would wish to come back and just do 2 rak'ah. Like pray 2 rak'ah. 2 rak'ahs, we don't even care about 2 rak'ahs, right? Pray 2 rak'ahs, and then that would be better than the world and everything in it for this person, right? Allah says in the Quran, رَبِّ ارْجِعُونَ لَعَلِّي أَعْمَلْ صَالِحًا فِي مَا تَرَكْ. Let me just go back to just do one little good thing, because I can't do anything any good anymore. So we always hear about that story of regret, right? I'm not telling you to worry about that right now. That's important. But the biggest regret was the regret on the family's faces. They weren't ready. The father wasn't ready to tell his daughter goodbye. Mom and sisters, they couldn't even, alhamdulillah, they're stable, they're fine, alhamdulillah, now they're home. The mom, broken ribs, broken arm, swelled up face, concussion, she was out. Older sister, alhamdulillah, a little bit better, fractured hip, fractured ribs, but she was at least mobile. The sister in the back, she was completely 100% broken legs, broken femur, broken arm, eyes, you can't even see her eyes, right? Stitches from here to here. The truck just smashed into them. If somebody was in the back, their body wouldn't exist. The other sister, subhanAllah, I'll talk about that a little bit. Other sister just passed away on the scene. They couldn't even see their sister when she was buried. They couldn't leave the hospital. They didn't even tell her goodbye. They didn't even look at her before usually we plan things, right? I'm going to die when I'm old. My kids will be around me. My wife will be around. You kind of plan it out. But imagine that your brother, and by the way, why I said regret? Because each of us, if we don't die, this is what I definitely realized from this lesson. If we don't die, we are definitely 100% going to bury someone we love. There's like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You will bury your mom or your dad, your grandpa or your grandma, your brother or your sister, your wife or your daughter or your son. You are definitely 100% before you die, you are going to bury someone that you love. And if you don't bury them, they're going to bury you. Either one. Only one or two options. And if we're not the one being buried, then we are burying someone we love, and we will regret every second that we didn't take the chance to go up to that person and tell them that we love them, that we care about them, that they're important to us, that we talked to them one more time, that we didn't fight, that we didn't argue, that we didn't bicker and get into it over something retarded or silly. You will regret every second after that. And wallahi, it's the worst feeling when you go and you see a family's face and the father's in regret, the mother's in regret, the sisters are in regret, friends are in regret. Everybody's like, we could have just did a little bit more. We could have just helped. We could have just said another word or another smile, another hug, another anything. But they couldn't. And that to me was the first time like, man, you can't regret any second. You have to take advantage of every moment that you have, the people that you love, because at any second they can be gone. Just coming home from Six Flags on a normal day. And that's it. It's no longer there. So I definitely, one of the major lessons, big lessons, was really we can't live in regret. We always say take advantage of the now, take advantage of the now. Taking advantage of the now means if your mom is still alive, you should never ever leave the house with a fight between you and your mom. Or an argument, or yelling, or just like rolling your eyes, just like, get out of my face, or you should never leave the house like argument with your pops. Or if you don't talk to your pops like, he doesn't understand me. Like these people that you love, and you don't realize how much you love them until they're gone. These people that you love or you care about, you should always, every day, show appreciation, love, and care to them. And that was the first lesson. That was the biggest thing that I saw. It brings old men to tears. The enormous weight of regret. It breaks men down to their knees. The enormous weight of regret. So make sure, take advantage of every second. Number one. Number two, a couple of things, inshallah ta'ala. I actually hope maybe you guys can share some thoughts, some reflections, inshallah ta'ala, with me. Number 2 was, you don't realize the impact of somebody until you see the effect of people around you. You know, one of the signs of a good ending, maybe I'm sure you guys have studied signs of a good ending and a bad ending. One of the signs of a good ending is that your process of death is really smooth. Like everything is smooth. You know, subhanAllah, it's great when you see it firsthand, right? It's like, again, dealing with it firsthand experience, you could tell, like, wow, everything is really, Allah's made everything smooth. When Allah is pleased with you, you know, people don't realize the whole process of death. You know, after you die, by the way, you guys should know what happens. You know, people talk about just, you know, the grave, okay, that's it. You know, what happens when somebody dies? What do you do? Well, people don't even know what to do. You know, the first thing you're supposed to do is, after the doctor comes in and tells you, hey, your daughter is dead, your mom is dead, your dad has passed, your son is no longer with it. What do? The first thing you should do is pick up the phone and call the people you care about. Let them know. Second thing is that you should pick up the phone and call the people that are going to come take that body. Now, I can't explain to you how Muslims, people usually, they have no plan. They never even anticipate the idea of dying. Having a plan together, like, okay, what do I do now? Like, who do I call? Sheikh, Imam, Masjid? Like, who do I call? You know, you should kind of understand the process of death. When a body dies, the first place it goes to the medical examiner's office, right? If it went her body went from the car, taken out of the car by her own sister, into an ambulance. Ambulance takes her, announces her dead at the scene. Takes her right to the coroner's office, the medical examiner's office. In the medical examiner's office, you sit in a fridge. Just so you guys know. They put a cloth over you and they throw you in a fridge. You and 20, 30 other bodies next to you. Your family has to go to the coroner's office and identify you. Right? So they bring the body out, they uncover it and they say, is that your son, is that your daughter? Most people don't even say yes or no, they just start breaking down. Yes, that's my son, that's my daughter. They cover you up, they put you back in. If you don't have somebody that's on top of their game, the first thing that they do is they do an autopsy. They start to cut you open, and they start to dig into you, and start to try to find out what happened to you. Why did you die? Of course, the Prophet told us something very important, and that's why it's very important for you, or at least your parents, or somebody that you love, they have a will, you know how to deal with the process. No one should ever, Islamically, what we're taught as Muslims, is that the body experiences everything at the moments of death. Right? So that girl, as soon as she died, her soul came out. Allah Azza wa Jalla, of course nobody's gone and come back to tell us, but the Prophet told us that the body feels everything during the whole process. It'll feel the cold. It'll feel the touching. It'll feel the warmth. It feels everything. So most people don't realize that you are supposed to go to the coroner's office and tell them, hey, don't touch this body. Sign off the paperwork, do what you need to do right then and there. Family gets to do it right then and there. People that don't do anything, usually they start to just open up and start picking at the body and start opening up, trying to find. For them, it's like we're gonna, drill the chest open to find out what happened. Drill the brain open, the head, try to find out what happened. You understand? If you guys ever watch Criminal Minds, you would understand, right? Law and Order. Very, very, very it's crazy. So you have to make sure that nobody touches that body. Nobody should inspect or touch that body at all. Second, after the body is taken care of, you call the janazah company, right? Now the father, may Allah help him, old man, he had just friends, they had no idea what to do. They drove all the way from hour and a half into Jersey, all the way back to Brooklyn, to the masjid, to ask them where to go, to a funeral place, all the way there to sit in the guy's office for an hour, and then drive all the way back just to organize, oh, please come pick up the body. Most ridiculous thing. You should have on your phone whatever the janazah funeral service that the masjid closest to you uses or your community uses, you should call them and know their number. Like you should have it on speed dial. It should be in your favorites. Like right there to remind you, hey, one day I'm going to call these people. At least I have their name in my number. At least I have their name in my phone book. So runs around for 8 hours. From 12 o'clock, comes back at 8 o'clock, trying to figure out how to just get the body and his daughter into a funeral home. It's ridiculous. But subhanAllah, we're not ready. As soon as the body is identified, the funeral people come, they're only ones that can take it. They bring it back, they drive it back all the way to Brooklyn, they bring it to the washroom. People don't realize how to wash a dead body. It's like you walk into a room and you have to wash your brother or your father or your cousin or your uncle. And of course, you don't wash a girl. Girls wash girls. So if it's your mom, your sister's washing her, or your aunt is washing her, or your niece is washing, somebody that's a girl related, or volunteers, they're washing your mom. You're not washing your mom. And when you go into that room, my mom went into the room. Alhamdulillah, I've done it before. I've experienced the idea. But if you've never washed a body, you need to go do it. It wakes you up. You realize, man, at this moment, like everything I could have thought about, it's like, at the end of the day, I'm going to be right here. I can't move my arms, I can't move my head. Somebody's going to come and be washing my legs and everything about me. My mom walked into the room and she walked right out. Not prepared. Not prepared for the process of death. Not prepared. SubhanAllah, there's so much wisdom in the Prophet ﷺ saying, the wisest of you are those that prepare for death the most. And the smartest of you are those that prepare for death the most. And the wisest of you are those that are constantly doing things to make sure you're ready. Right? That's the beautiful saying of the Prophet ﷺ. But subhanAllah, we live our life, and I experienced it. People live their lives like, what do I do? What do I touch? What don't I touch? Where do I go? Can I touch it? Can I move this? And subhanAllah, you know what was amazing? Mom was in bad shape. Sister was in bad shape. Both other sisters, she was in good shape. SubhanAllah. Right? Another sign of a good ending, by the way. It's like, my mom told me, man, I couldn't believe she was dead. She looked fine. Of course, subhanAllah, hit the head, that's it. It's over. It doesn't take much for humans are just like, people walk around like they own the earth. But a little bullet to their head, it's just a little bullet. Bullets are this big. You guys ever seen a bullet? A little bullet to the head, that's it, you're done. Doesn't matter how much you bench press and how much you deadlift and power clean and how many steroids you inject into each bicep every day. A little bullet. SubhanAllah, how weak humans are. So just knocked out. My mom walked into the room. She's like, I can't believe she's not dead. I don't believe it. Didn't know what to do. You got to wash the body. Ghusl, right hand, left hand. You make wudu for the person, their mouth first, their nose. Then you wash their face just like you make wudu. Then right arm, then left arm, then right foot, then left foot. Then you wash the right side of the body. Then you wash the left side of the body. Then if it's, then you clean the rest of the body. Then you put the garments on. Then you put 3 layers of garments. It depends, different sunan. You put 3 layers of garments. A girl, she covers her head. Then you put the body into the casket. Head on top, feet on bottom. We out. Know the process. It's crazy. It's like family members just breaking down. It's like, I've never done this, but I've never seen it before. Why? Why weren't you ready for this? Like, we all know we're going to go through this. Why didn't you do this before? Then you bring the body to the masjid. Another sign of a good ending. And everything, and I just want to say, subhanAllah, everything is smooth. Body got taken out quickly. Drives, usually the drive from Jersey is an hour and a half. If you guys went to Six Flags, it's right next to, it's exit 9. What's Six Flags? Exit 7? This is right next to Six Flags. The drive was like 45 minutes, real quick. Boom, right up, right to the washroom. Usually the wash takes an hour. It took 35 minutes. Really quick, subhanAllah. Boom, get into the car, no traffic down to the masjid. When we get to the masjid, another sign, good end. SubhanAllah, when Allah is pleased with somebody, Allah decided to take somebody, khalas, it's the decree of Allah, you can't do nothing about it. 15 years old, probably taking her at PSATs. She's not taking them, but I'm sure she was planning on it. take the body to the masjid, and the masjid, I've never seen the youth center. It's, if you guys have ever been there, it's 3 floors and a basement. It was packed from top to bottom. You couldn't move. Like, I've never seen, not Jum'ah, probably even Eid. We just had Eid indoors. It wasn't that crowded. Eid was not that crowded. People coming from everywhere. The street is closed outside. All this for a 15-year-old girl. I was like, man, this is the good way out. This is the best way out. We brought her up to the front of the masjid. Again, people, friends, people from school, people sitting there. They're looking at a 15-year-old body's so light. The coffin's so light. She's like, her body's just there. And she stood in front of the masjid, and we weren't in school, but she was giving us a lesson. We were in a classroom, and she was giving us a lesson on life. She wasn't speaking. She was dead in her coffin. But she gave the entire masjid a lesson on life. Like, this is it. 15 years old. 6 months ago, we buried an 18-year-old in the same masjid in the youth center. 18-year-old kid. And you'd be like, man, I can't imagine. It could be me. It's me. It could be me. If I got taken at 15, man, Lord Adam. What are we doing at 15 years old? What are people doing in high school, sophomore year in high school? Messing around, this and that. Punks, idiots, doing stupid things. It's like, man, 15. Take her, thousands of people in the masjid, subhanAllah, boom, right to the valley. You get to the masjid. I'm just giving you the process. I'm going to explain to you because I just went through it. It's life-changing. Get to the masjid, we get to the graveyard, and it's like, at the graveyard, it starts to hit. Like, that's it, man. Like, she's going in, and she's not coming out. She's not coming out. And family, you guys gotta realize, if it's your mom, if it's your sister, if it's your daughter, if it's your wife, you're the one that's gonna bring her down there. Like, you gotta put her down there. You gotta go into the grave and put her in. You gotta uncover the coffin and turn her head towards the Qibla. You're the one that's gotta put the dirt behind her head and lay it behind her. You're the one that's gotta bring her down there, and of course, every place is different. But over there, they just have to bring the coffin down. You're the one. It's your mom. It's your sister. It's my mom. It's my sister. My wife. My daughter. I got to do it. You're the one that's got to go down there and close it and be the last one to see her. Put that cover on the coffin and get up out, and people start throwing sand. I'm telling you, when you see a family go through it, you'll be like, man, this feels like they're moving mountains. Every throw of sand feels like the weight of the world dropping on them. Until, of course, she's finally buried, and that's it. Make dua, and everybody's out. And that's why, subhanAllah, the saying of the guy with the 3 wives. You guys know the guy with the 3 wives, right? There was a good-looking dude. Lighten it up a little bit. There was a good-looking dude, a little like myself, once upon a time. Wears pink shirts now again. One guy, old in age, really old, he had 3 wives. First wife, he knows he's about to die, like he's on his deathbed. So he calls in the first wife, nobody's in the room with him, calls in the first wife. He tells her, honey, she's young, she was the most beautiful of them, she was stunning. I don't know what she was doing, she was probably, cougar, gold digger, I don't know what we call them nowadays. But, she was with him for his money. So she comes in, beautiful woman, and she tells her, my wife, I love you so much. You're the most beautiful of all my wives. You're the most important of all my wives. I cared about you. I gave you everything that I had. Everything, all my love, all my heart is just for you. And I only ask you of one thing as I die. So she says what? She tells her, baby, I don't know. I want you to come down into the grave with me when they put me down there. Stay with me. Like, come down there with me. I love you so much. So she says, you cray. And she just storms out the room. And she's like, I'm out, man. I'm taking my money and I'm out. doesn't come back, doesn't even care to see him or be around him. That's it. She's gone. Picks up another guy. Second wife calls her in. She's the I wife, right? She's I, So he walks in. He's like, baby, honey, sweetie, I know you I. I know I treated you I. I do love you, kinda, I. But I want you, please, babe, honey, sweetie. Like, I want you, my last wish, my last hope in life. I want you to come into the grave with me, baby, when they bury me. Like, I want you to be right there with me. She's like, you cray. I'll take you there, but I'm definitely not going in. He's like, okay, leave me alone. Calls the last wife. Now she's the one that's, lack of a better word, she not I. You know how it is. She not looking like, probably she burn your eyes, right? Probably, you just like, you throw up in your mouth. So, calls her in. He's like, honey, sweetie, darling, babe. I know I don't like you that much. And I know you know that you're not that important to me. And I know that you're not that good looking. I know you know, and I know. But would you come down into the grave with me when they bury me? She's like, of course, sweetheart. I love you. I'm going to be right there with you. When I was at the graveyard, subhanAllah, I thought of this story. Obviously, first wife, Noor's money, Noor's clothing, Noor's sneakers, Noor's jeans, your caps, your shoes, your Jordans, your PlayStation 4, your Xbox, your fantasy team, your phone, your boy, your car, your home, your clothing, your underwear, your socks, your belts, none of that, your money, your bank account, your investments, your stocks, your homes, none of that is going anywhere near your grave. It's all staying hundreds, maybe tens and hundreds of miles away. Not anywhere near you. Not coming anywhere close. Second wife? Anybody want to take a shot?
Family.
The I wifey.
Your friends.
Your family and friends. With family in particular, right? They're always I to you, kind of care about you. I like you. But, you I. It's like, I know you're always around, but you're just I. Like, yeah, I kind of love you. But you're I. They're always I in us, in our eyes. They're always kind of okay. They're always, they're around. I care about you, but you don't really show it. They will take you all the way there. They'll probably cry. They'll probably be moved. They'll probably be thinking about you. But they ain't coming in. They're not going anywhere near the bottom of that grave. They're going to stand and watch you as you sit there, as you lie there. Last wife, she's busted and all, the ugly one that nobody cares about. Yes? That's Salah, man. Salat al-Isha, fasting Arafah, reading Quran, like being good to my moms, like giving $1 to a poor person I walk by every day, lowering my gaze, saying astaghfirullah, saying subhanallah, coming to a halaqah, listening to some bum named Rami talk on a Friday night. Like, I could be doing other things, right? I could be on my PlayStation, I could be on my Madden right now, be killing these dudes online like Gladiator. It's always the good things that we could be doing. These mean so little to us. Waking up for Salat al-Fajr and walking to the masjid, like, oh, come on. That's like my sleep time. My beauty sleep. What I'm looking at right now, y'all don't get no beauty sleep.
Hell yeah.
Jamil, right? His name is Jamil. Only Jamil, my bad. Hey, it's because your mom named you that, right? You know what I'm saying? We gotta put the Jamil to the test. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, you're getting recorded.
Don't worry, baby. It's only me and you watching it. So he'd be like those good deeds. Nobody cares about. Nobody. That's the ugly wife. That's the wife that nobody invested time. That we didn't care. We didn't wake up in the morning thinking about it and going to sleep at night thinking about it. She's just like, whatever. She's the only one, or it's the only one. It's the only thing that comes into the bottom of your grave with you. That's it. When she lay there, it didn't matter how rich her pops was, how poor he was, how much of her friends were around. None of it mattered. Once they put that dirt on you, it's just you and your good deeds. It's just you and that ugly wife that you neglected. The one that you didn't care about. It's just you and her. And subhanAllah, it is one of the signs of a good burial that when after you get questioned and after Allah Azza wa Jal opens the gate of paradise for you, you see your place in paradise and it becomes like a sanctuary of paradise, but you're not actually in paradise. But it's just like it's like the waiting room for paradise, right? Everybody knows the waiting room. Like you're not in the surgery room, you're in the waiting room. But I see it. Like I see it right there. The Prophet ﷺ said that a beautiful person pops up in your grave. Like really stunning person. And he'd be like, yo man, you look like my boy from back in the day, man. Who the heck is you? You're like, yo man, I'm that Salat al-Fajr, bro. What up? B? Text you that, what's going on? It's like, oh my God, that Quran in Ramadan, or that Quran during Dhul Hijjah, or oh my God, that istighfar that I made going to Salat al-Jum'ah. It's like, oh my God, you look good, bro. Like, thanks, you look good too. SubhanAllah, right then and there, right in your grave. Amazing. It's amazing that the Prophet ﷺ gives us that analogy. Same if we just give, SubhanAllah, effort to the good things that will come to us in our grave. Those are some lessons that I wanted to share with you guys. I know it's not very much on topic from what the guys asked me to talk about, but it just did happen. I want to let you guys know that, subhanAllah, we don't think about a lot of the things that come with death, meaning, again, we always think about the person dying, but, we don't think about how sad the mom is, how sad the dad is, sister. SubhanAllah, I took the family home from the hospital when they first came out. They just came out on Tuesday. Drove them from the hospital home. As soon as the sister got to the house, she walked into her room, she saw all her sister's stuff, she walked down, she couldn't come back into the house. It's like, man, that's my sister. Like, I was just talking to her. We were just hanging out. We were just sharing our secrets and, hanging out and now she's not here. Right? It's just like, it hit home right that moment when they walked home and she's not in her room. Dad told me the same thing. It hits home more than anything. See her close, like, subhanAllah, the brother of one of the guys that passed away, I told you in April or in March, he came to the halaqah that week and he told us, man, I have all my brother's stuff at home, I don't know what to do with it. Like, all his jeans or his shoes or his caps or his clothes, like, what do I do with it? SubhanAllah, all our clothes, one day is like, what do we do with it? Probably spend 15 hours shopping for a shirt. But it doesn't matter because you don't go down with it. And subhanAllah, you start to ask yourself, man, did I invest? Did I really give my best, my effort to what was important in my life? And subhanAllah, your family starts to question it, you start questioning it, and it just wakes you up to the experience of a fun day in Six Flags for any of us. If you went, any of us, me driving home right now, any of us at any moment could be that same family. And subhanAllah, I thought sharing some of these stories with you would be very important, especially that it just happened. Anybody want to share a story or a reflection or anything that maybe they experienced that maybe we could get some benefit in, inshallah, before we close here tonight? Please feel free, inshallah, to share the experience. Anybody have a death in a family before or deal with the death in the family?
My father passed away like 5 years ago.
Oh, subhanAllah, may Allah have mercy on him. Father, obviously you have to do the walkthrough, A to Z.
Yeah, it's like it's like you're dreaming. It's not real. You're gonna wake up any time, but the fact is you never wake up.
SubhanAllah.
You realize how real it is, and you realize you're gonna be in there one day.
SubhanAllah.
You better get your act right, or you lose your chance. You miss your train. The train is gone.
SubhanAllah.
If that happens, that's it.
SubhanAllah. Dream is definitely right. Like something, I heard a lot. Hey, it's just like a dream. It's just like a dream. It's like I don't believe it. Because subhanAllah, it's just that quick. Right? لا يستأخرون ساعة ولا يستقدمون. Allah says they can't delay the death an hour or a minute or a second, and they can't fast forward an hour, a minute or a second. That's it. When it happens, it happens. Can't do nothing about it, subhanAllah. Anybody else want to share maybe an experience or maybe something that they learned from a family member or family, passing or dealing with the family passing? Or has anybody ever washed the body before? Okay, subhanAllah. Anybody ever been to the burial? Have you guys go frequently to burials? Okay, that's good, alhamdulillah. I mean, there's so much wisdom, and the Prophet said, I'm telling us to go through it, right? SubhanAllah, you gain so much experience by seeing just somebody random. That's why the Prophet said, whoever prays a janazah prayer gets a mountain of good deeds, and whoever follows the janazah all the way to the burial gets 2 mountains of 2 mountains of Uhud, the big mountain range in Medina, of good deeds, because you get to see it. And that mental run through, that mental practice of how it goes down and what goes down, this first, that second, this third, that fourth, it gives you, subhanAllah, so much comfort after you do once, twice, 15, 20, 50 times. It's like, man, after a while, it's just subhanAllah, I'm in the moment, okay, at least I know what to do, and I've had some experience, subhanAllah. Anybody want to share a story or something before we close? Yeah. Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
While he gathers this thought, okay, I just want to say something. Brother Rami, I just recently met him, okay? So, I'm pretty sure you guys like, his stuff. This is the first time he's been to James as far as I know.
No, man, come on. This is my second home.
Okay, so I'm the new guy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's why I don't know.
Come on, bro.
Okay, so he's going to be leaving to Texas actually, I think this month, right? End of this month?
Next month, inshallah.
So next month. I'm going to try to get him back in here, okay?
Inshallah.
But I don't know if he's going to agree.
Inshallah.
Okay, awesome. All right.
Should be okay.
But while he's still here, okay, I'll
him
encourage
on the
all of you
spot.
guys, okay, to hang out with him a little bit, okay, ask him questions, whatever it might be, okay? After Salah or before Salah, hang out with him and just ask him whatever, discussion, anything. Have some dialogue with him. I think he gathered his thoughts, so.
I was watching something interesting. It's like there was a parent. Right? There was a parent and it was their boy. They always complain oh, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do this, he doesn't clean his room, he's not good in his school, his education is not good, he's doing this, he's always not listening to us. All complaints, right? So, alhamdulillah, he passed away, because Allah took him. And then the same parents were saying things like, oh, he was so nice to me, this and that, and stuff like that. So the point I'm trying to get at is value what you have right now till you lose it. Because when you lose it, no matter what you say, it doesn't matter really. He's not there to listen to you. I mean, he's listening, but it's like regret. You're gonna regret not saying that, oh, son, we love you. It could be the other way around, your parents. The parents, I'm pretty sure everybody's parents does a lot, more than we can imagine, or know. So sometimes we just don't say anything to them, oh, we really appreciate you doing this. There was so much things you did before I started realizing, So things like that, you really gotta sometimes take your time and think about these things. They say you understand these things when you become a parent. So don't wait till you become a parent. They might be here, might not be here. So take your chance right now. Think about it, reflect upon it, and then tell them what you feel like. Because that chance, it's probably going to give you, regret for the rest of your life.
Jazakallah khair. I forgot your name, Akhir. Nazwar. Jazakallah khair, bro. SubhanAllah, one of the really, I think take home for us is definitely, I know you guys got SATs probably in the morning, but really the people in your life that you care about, you got to make sure that they know that you care about them all the time, right? As much as possible. Again, you don't know when they're going to leave you, but they are going to leave you. It's either they leave you or you leave them. There's one or two options, like I said in the beginning. So really, take your time. And that's why, subhanAllah, there's so much ajr and so much reward. And Allah's always highly, and the Prophet always highly encouraged the tying of families, parent relationships, the family relationship. Very, very important, that you always show a lot of care and courtesy to those that are around you, especially mom and dad. Especially dad, especially for guys. A lot harder to connect with dad than it is with mom. You got to be able to connect with dad. You got to be able to sit down, talk, have time in your day where you hang out, or hanging out is maybe a tough word to use. But spend some time with your pops. Talk, chat it up, teach him who Andrew Luck is and how nasty he is and how he's the GOAT. Or whatever. I'm just throwing something out there, right? Make sure you spend quality time with those that you care. I think number 2, definitely, and that's just 2 take-home items I think is good to learn, is that, subhanAllah, our deeds, whatever we do every day, they come, we store them up, but when we leave, we don't know. So every time you have an opportunity to take advantage of a good deed, coming to a halaqah, making sure you pray in jama'ah in the masjid, whatever it is, saying subhanAllah, whatever, every little thing that you can do, that is the only thing that comes with you into your grave. We live a life that's so deviated, so far from death. I was listening to a radio station 2 days ago, and they were talking about death for it was a sports radio station. I was just a small drive, and I'm just listening to it, and the guy starts to talk about why is he getting spam emails from burial insurance, right? He's like, I'm just 53. Why am I getting spam emails from burial insurance? And then the other 2 other guys with him were like, dude, why are you talking to us about death? Right? Why are you talking about, then he starts to ask, do you guys want to be buried in the ground or burnt alive? Or, it is the most awkward conversation to go up to your boy at school and be like, yo, let's talk about death for a little bit. Sit down, boy. What did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, sir? Do you need to go to a counselor? I know the deen. No, subhanAllah, it's just not a part of our vernacular, right? We try to always be away from it. Don't see a graveyard, don't think about death, but subhanAllah, the way that the Prophet ﷺ told us to live life is the opposite. Always think about death, not so that you have depression and you don't leave your bed in the morning, but so that you understand the reality of why you're waking up in the morning. Why do I wake up and what's my purpose in life? And that's what death is supposed to remind you. Not to get deceived and distracted with all those petty issues on the side. You understand what I'm saying? Do good deeds. And good deeds is not limited to Quran and Salats. Good deeds is everything that you do in life. Everything that you do. Getting A is a good deed, and I'm sure you guys know that. Doing everything that you can. And I'm trying to explain to you this because we don't understand this in Islam. Ali bin Abi Talib, I'll close with this. He said, powerful word. He said, radiallahu anhu, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, I used to sleep half the night, or I used to sleep half the night and I pray half the night. وَأَحْتَسِبُ مِنَ اللَّهِ, and I expect from Allah to reward me for my sleep as much as He rewards me for my prayer. Right? They didn't think good deeds is just prayer. They thought good deeds is my sleep, the way I eat, the way I interact, the way I say good morning to my neighbor, the way I hold the door for the person in front of me, the person behind me. It's everything to them was for Allah, for the sake of Allah. This is my good deed. So when we transform our thought process like that, the world becomes a lot easier and everything in it, inshallah ta'ala.